The rhythmic clatter of the train against the tracks was a soothing white noise to Philip. He watched the industrial landscape of New Jersey blur past, a striking discrepancy to the comfortable, if somewhat crowded confines of his Upper West Side apartment he'd left behind. He glanced at his watch. 8:15 a.m. Time to make the call. He dialed Julia's number, anticipation fluttering in his chest. The line rang twice before a sleepy voice answered. Philip. Her voice was a little sleepy. Hey, he said softly. Did I wake you? You told me to sleep peacefully last night, so why are you calling? There was a playful accusation in her tone. He chuckled. Just wanted to hear your voice before this conference swallows me whole. 2 days of addiction experts. It's going to be intense. When will you be back? Tomorrow afternoon. The conference goes all day Saturday, and there's a dinner and networking thing afterward. I'm staying at the hotel. Okay, she mumbled. Take care of yourself. And learn lots of smart things. There was a hint of amusement in her voice. I intend to. Already missing you though. He paused, a warmth spreading through him. You were even hotter last night than the first time. If that's even possible. He could almost hear her blush. So, what are you going to do with yourself for 2 whole days? Don't know exactly yet. Head back to my place, probably. Clean it, maybe paint a little, go for a walk in the park. She sounded listless. He knew Steve, the band leader, had benched her for the weekend, demanding she get herself together. No smoky pubs, no flashing lights, no stage, no singing. Just quiet. An enforced detox from her routine, if not her habits. I hope you'll be free of other things as well, he said. His voice laced with concern. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end. That's really funny, Philip. The sleepiness had vanished, replaced by a defensive edge. I didn't mean it as a joke, Julia. I know it's hard. Maybe try to keep yourself busy. You haven't developed a physical addiction yet, so maybe it will be easier for the initial phases of craving to pass. He was treading carefully, trying to offer support without judgment. He knew the suggestions he used with his patients often felt hollow, simplistic, but he had to try. She abruptly changed the subject. I was thinking of visiting my dad at the farm in a few weeks. You could come with me if you wanted. His heart leaped. A weekend away from the city with Julia, in a place that presumably held some semblance of peace. I'd love that. If it's important to you, I'll come. I'd be very happy if we could travel together somewhere that isn't the city. He was about to say goodbye when she asked, What are you doing tonight? Are you meeting anyone? He hesitated. Just catching up with a childhood friend who's also in the profession. Who? The question was sharp, laced with suspicion. Just a close acquaintance, Julia. Have to go now. Someone's calling me on my work cell. He could practically feel her scrutinizing him through the phone. We'll talk later, okay? Call me around 8. Okay, she said, her voice flat. Bye. Bye, said Philip quickly. He switched to his work phone, answering with a professional greeting. As he listened to the caller, he could almost hear Julia's thoughts churning, her insecurities festering. Julia hung up the phone and let out a frustrated sigh. An old acquaintance, huh? That's how it usually is with these desirable doctors. The seed of suspicion, once planted, quickly sprouted into a full-blown scenario in her mind. Course it is a woman. It always is. She dragged herself out of bed, the remnants of sleep clinging to her like a heavy cloak. As she got dressed, a familiar restlessness began to gnaw at her. She wandered over to Philip's desk, a forbidden territory she's already kept in respect. But today the need to know, to understand, was overwhelming. She began to flip through his notes, a jumble of papers detailing his work and his personal research. She saw chemical formulas, intricate diagrams, and stark photographs of drug addicts, alcoholics, and severely obese people. A small stack of handwritten pages, stapled with pictures together, caught her eye. The pictures were connected to these pages. There were questions scrawled across the top of the first page, underlined and circled for emphasis. Can all addictions be eliminated with a certain antidote? Can the development of all addictions be traced back to the same few things? What might be the reasons? Childhood trauma, lack of self-confidence, fears, lack of love, loneliness. Julia closed the notes, carefully rearranging them as she'd found them. A fleeting image flashed through her mind. Herself as a little girl, practicing piano in her parents' opulent mansion on the farm. The memory was sharp, almost painful. She pressed a wrong key, a jarring note in the middle of a beautiful sonnet, and her mother's hand lashed out, slapping her knuckles. Again, from the beginning. Her mother's voice, cold and dismissive, she still heard in her ears. She shuddered, pushing the memory back into the dark recesses of her mind. Philip's questions rang in her head, bouncing against the walls of her own unresolved past. Could he really find an antidote? Could he unravel the tangled web of her own addiction? Or was she simply a puzzle he couldn't solve, a case study destined to remain unsolved?